I'm Maya, 30
Follow
years
us at
old. In life, there are
revengefiles.com.
relationships you believe will stand the test of time, as solid as a rock against any storm. For me, my friendship with Ivy was such a relationship. We grew up together, inseparable through our childhood and teenage years. From skipping school to watch movies, to staying up all night talking about our first loves, to helping each other move into our first apartments after graduation. We were always there for each other. Ivy and I had always been each other's solid support system. I remember it vividly, the time Ivy broke up with her university boyfriend, a jerk who had cheated on her. Ivy appeared at my door in the middle of the night, her eyes swollen, a suitcase trailing behind her. Without a moment's hesitation, I opened my door wide to welcome her. For a whole month, the sofa in my living room became Ivy's bed. I bought her favorite mint chocolate chip ice cream, patiently listened to her cry and vent, and encouraged her to get back up after her fall. That was just one of the countless times I had given Ivy a place to stay when she was in trouble or had just gone through a breakup. It's what best friends do for each other, without keeping score, without asking for anything in return. We had promised each other that no matter where life took us, no matter what happened, we would always be there for each other. That promise, to me at the time, was more sacred than any vow. I naively believed our friendship was inviolable. 5 years ago, when I was 25, life decided to test me with a painful fall. It was a truly terrible time. The startup company where I was working as a marketing specialist suddenly downsized, and I was one of the unlucky ones. The meeting with the human resources department was swift and cold. Within an hour, I had to pack my personal belongings into a cardboard box, return my employee ID, and walk out of the building I had been with for 3 years. A sense of emptiness and aimlessness enveloped me. As if one tragedy wasn't enough, not long after, Mark, the boyfriend I had been dating for 2 years, also broke up with me. The pressure of me losing my job, the financial stress, and my own psychological instability had eroded our relationship. He said he couldn't continue to be with someone as negative as I was. One door closed and another slammed in my face. I lost both my career and my love in the same month. The apartment that Mark and I had rented together was now too expensive for me alone. The lease was about to expire, and I didn't have enough money for a deposit on a new place. I fell into a desperate situation, needing a temporary place to stay for a short time while I tried to sort things out and find a new job. I didn't need money or provisions. I could pay for any other expenses I needed or used myself. I just needed a roof, a small corner to rest my head. And the first and only person I thought of in that situation was Ivy. I hesitated for a long time before picking up the phone to call Ivy. My pride was hurt, and having to admit my weakness to others has never been easy. But I pushed it all aside because I believed Ivy would never turn her back on me. On the other end of the line, Ivy's voice was as cheerful as ever. I gathered all my courage and told her everything about losing my job, the breakup, and my current difficult situation. I said I just needed to stay at her place for a few weeks, just until I found a job and got back on my feet. The silence that stretched for a few seconds on the other end of the line made my heart tighten. Then Ivy spoke, her voice holding a cold distance I had never heard before. "Oh my God, Maya, I'm so sorry. I wish I could help you, but things are really tight for me right now." That sentence was like a bucket of cold water thrown in my face. Tight? Ivy was living alone in a spacious 2-bedroom apartment. She had a stable job with a decent salary. Tight wasn't about finances. It was a tightness of humanity, of compassion. I, who had let her stay with me countless times without hesitation, now, in the one time I truly needed her most, received a cruel rejection. Follow us at revengefiles.com. I didn't argue, didn't beg. I just quietly said I understand and hung up. The pain of betrayal was greater than the pain of losing my job and my love. My best friend, the person I trusted most, had abandoned me when I was at my lowest. Luckily, I still had other friends. Lena, a friend I knew from university, didn't hesitate to let me stay in her small apartment. With Lena's help, I gradually got back on my feet. I found a new job at a larger company with a better position and a higher salary. I worked hard, saved up, and eventually bought an apartment of my own. I had rebuilt my life on my own. a life that was more stable and better than ever. My relationship with Ivy also ended that day. Not a single call, not a single message. Years passed in silence. A few years later, my life was completely stable. I had a great job that I loved, a lovely apartment that I had decorated myself, and a steady life. The painful past was behind me, and I had almost forgotten about Ivy's existence. Then one evening, as I was preparing dinner in my cozy kitchen, the doorbell suddenly rang. I went to open the door and froze. Standing before me, after years of no contact, was Ivy. She looked haggard and tired. Her makeup couldn't hide the dark circles under her eyes and her dejected expression. And then she spoke, her voice full of pleading. Guess what? She needed a place to stay for a few weeks because she was down on her luck. She had just lost her job, and her boyfriend had kicked her out of the house. Ivy's words were like an echo from the past, an ironic repetition of my own situation years ago. I just looked at her in silence. In that moment, all the memories came flooding back. I thought about the times I had been by her side, wiped her tears, gave her a home when she had nowhere else to go. And I also thought about the day I needed her most, about the cold rejection and the door that had been slammed in my face. After a moment of silence, I smiled. A gentle smile, without a hint of malice, but enough to send a chill down Ivy's spine. And then I spoke, repeating the exact words she had said to me years ago. I wish I could help, but things are really tight right now. Stunned disbelief was written all over Ivy's face. Her jaw dropped, and she was speechless. Her expression shifted from hope to confusion, then to astonishment, and finally to the shame of realization. She recognized the words. She knew what I was doing.
Follow us at revengefiles.com.
I didn't need to say anything more. I just quietly closed the door, leaving Ivy alone in the hallway with her own rejection from years ago. It wasn't a grand or loud act of revenge, but it felt wonderful. Revenge doesn't always require shouting or hurtful actions. Sometimes, it's simply about letting others taste the same loneliness and emptiness they once left you with. It was a silent revenge, but more profound and poignant than anything else. That night, I slept soundly, for the first time in years. I felt the burden of the past had truly been lifted.